Am I the asshole for honestly telling my girlfriend what I would change about her? I watched a TikTok where a couple asked each other what they would change about each other and they both said nothing, they're both perfect and they love each other very much etc. So I thought let me try this with my girlfriend, without filming of course. She said, I wouldn't change anything about you. Maybe I would make you less anxious about everyday stuff so you wouldn't suffer. It's true, I tend to be very anxious and obsessive compulsive sometimes but I'm dealing with it. Then she asked me what I would change about her. I told her I would like her to have her old body back. Meaning before the pandemic when she was more muscular and a little bit thinner. Also I told her she could be less hairy in some areas like her face and arms and I wish her hair was more cared for. I wouldn't change anything fundamental about her appearance. Maybe make her legs a little bit thinner but all my requests are very much achievable with a little effort. She didn't seem to appreciate my comments. Her expression changed and she locked herself in her room without saying anything. We slept on different beds and the next day she told me something very hurtful. She said, I don't think that your appearance is perfect either. There are some issues but I love you enough not to pester you about them. When I asked her what she meant she replied that she wished I followed her skincare advice to get rid of my acne and that I would work out with her more. I told her the difference is that I was honest and she lied. She didn't say anything but it was obvious that she had been crying the whole night. She went to her sister's house and hasn't been responding to my messages. So am I the asshole for being honest? Update. I get it, I'm the asshole. I called and profusely apologized but she said she would think of my comments every time I look at her and it's something she can't just forget. My girlfriend of 4 years broke up with me and now I see why. Thank you all for your comments. You are the asshole. You saw an opportunity to confront your girlfriend about things you're not attracted to under the guise of, oh look how fun and sweet. You tricked her and made her feel like shit. Edit. Holy shit, my first award. Thank you kind Reddit people. Tears of joy. Edit 2. OMG, so many awards. I am bragging to my husband about it. You are the asshole. You saw a trend on TikTok of two people accepting each other and decided to use it as a way to nitpick your GF's appearance. You are the asshole. You actually think your appearance is perfect? You don't deserve her, and I'm willing to bet she's way out of your league anyways. Negging is so toxic. Ha 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 ha. Gasps for air. Ha 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 ha. You are the asshole. You are the asshole. All my requests are very much achievable with a little effort, good God. Go date someone else who doesn't have to put in effort to change things about themselves for you. It is understandable to have a preference for a partner. It can be brought up in a much better way if it's that important. In my opinion, this would be something affecting quality of life. If you're not attracted to her, don't be with her. You saw an opportunity to point out how you want her skinnier and hairless and jumped on it. Well done. You are the asshole. Come on, man. How did you even write this? I told her I would like her to have her old body back. Meaning before the pandemic when she was more muscular and a little bit thinner. Also I told her she could be less hairy in some areas like her face and arms and I wish her hair was more cared for. I wouldn't change anything fundamental about her appearance. Maybe make her legs a little bit thinner but all my requests are very much achievable with a little effort. Your girlfriend thought you were doing a lame cutesy thing where you both say, you're perfect already, and you go, I wouldn't change anything fundamental but. Could you lose 25 pounds, start working out, and make an appointment with an esthetician already? Edit. Christ, I missed the part where this was your idea. You are the asshole. A huge asshole. You saw the TikTok, you started the conversation. Your girlfriend didn't criticize you like that and you turned what was supposed to be cute into an opportunity to criticize her and ask her to change her body. You are the asshole. The fact that you got your feelings hurt when your girlfriend made a comment apt your body is a double standard. Don't comment on her body if you didn't want your body commented on. Am I the asshole for refusing to help a tourist after I heard him insult me in his own language? I traveled to Italy the other day and because I look similar to Italians, I'm often mistaken for a local. I went to Naples and during my vacation I got to know the city decently well. At one point a guy came up to me and asked for directions in Italian. I had a bit of a difficult time understanding him but tried to reply to him back in Italian. He suddenly turned to his friend and called me a downy with a speech impediment, not knowing that the language he spoke was my mother tongue. I switched to my mother tongue and told him that if he's going to talk trash about someone like that, then he should at least make sure that he doesn't speak your language. The guy was caught off guard and embarrassed and tried to apologize, but I figured he only apologized because he got caught. Afterwards I told him to get lost and refused to help him. After that I felt like I put him in his place, but doubt has been creeping up on me. Should I just have told him off and helped him anyway? I'm not sure what the mature response was supposed to be. Did I overreact? Not the asshole. It's so dirty to insult someone right next to them because you think they don't speak your language. This is so clearly a situation where you are not the Not the asshole. I would have given them directions completely the wrong way more satisfying. He fucked around and found out. You aren't obligated to help someone who will resort to insults on someone trying to help. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. That's what he gets for being an asshole. I hope he stayed lost for at least an hour. Not the asshole. He got what he deserved and hopefully he learned his lesson. He was rude to talk smack about someone who was trying to help him. Not the asshole. An immature response would have been to give him the wrong directions. More people need to be called out on their rudeness. Not the asshole. That was the best response you could have given. Actions have consequences, and he just suffered a consequence for his bad actions. I apologize to the mods if this isn't an appropriate comment, but I don't really like this kind of post on this sub. Was there really ever a doubt in your mind that you were socially obligated to give your time to a stranger who dismissively called you disabled? I'm sorry that happened to you, but you're a much nicer person than I to even think twice. Am I the asshole for not giving up my room to my parents' new baby and saying bad things to them? My parents, F45, M50, love the phrase, work to live, not live to work. The phrase is pretty cool, but it's not cool to be the son of parents like that. They work as freelancers most of their time and spend more than they should. Me, F19, and my brother Thomas, M14, live in several bad situations because of this. We've been living on rent forever, because my parents can't pay a mortgage and don't keep any money. Since last year I have contributed to all the household bills. All expenses are shared between my father, mother and me equally. We currently live in a 3-bedroom apartment. Naturally, my parents sleep together in one room. My brother and I have our single rooms. My mother got pregnant at 45 and no one is very excited about the news. My dad doesn't want the crib in their room, so he suggested I move out of my room and sleep in the same room as Thomas. My room would be for the newborn. I disagreed because 1. I don't feel comfortable sharing a room with a sibling of the opposite sex. 2. I pay the bills like any other adult, and 3. The baby is theirs. My parents called me selfish. Here I may have been I said I wouldn't share a room with my brother so my parents could have sex away from the baby and that I just wouldn't leave that house because I knew Thomas and the baby would go hungry. Since then my mother has been sleeping at a friend's house so she doesn't see me and my father doesn't talk to me. Thomas said I was such an asshole. Not the asshole if you are splitting bills 3 ways. Maybe you could find roommates or a studio apartment on your own. Not the asshole. Move out. You can help your brother without living there. NTA. Time to move out and make your parents start behaving like adults. You staying and paying the bills is helping to enable their behavior. Not the asshole. You pay 1/3 of the bills. Their baby, their responsibility. Let them listen to the crying at night. And you're correct, it is creepy for a woman to share a room with her brother. I don't think you said anything horrible. They're probably mad because you slapped them in the face with the truth. Not the asshole. Babies are supposed to sleep in the same room, in a crib, as their parents for at least 6 months. It's a health issue. They can die of SIDS. It's your dad's baby. He can suck it up. Not the asshole. If they're gonna bring a child into this work, they can do what it takes to raise it. That burden shouldn't fall on you. They can move the baby into their own room. I guess you're working full-time? Find a roommate and move out and pay bills at your own place. Also not the asshole. Their baby, they can sleep with it. They made their choices. Not the asshole. Not your kid, not your problem. You're an adult. They're certainly not acting like ones from the sounds of it. Move out and let them downsize. Work to live means working enough to actually pay the damned bills. Am I the asshole for storming out after Elle didn't like the birthday present Elle was given? I, 20F, recently turned 20 and had a party to celebrate turning 20. It was a small gathering at my favorite sushi restaurant with only my immediate family and a few friends. Everything was going well until it came time for the presents. You see, in my family there's this tradition that when the firstborn turns 20, They are given this pocket watch that was owned by my great-grandfather. When our country was still colonized by the British, he, my great-grandfather, was taken in by some missionaries and became a teacher. As a teacher he was super instrumental to the community and partly funded the first black-owned school there. He became headmaster and as thanks, the community chipped in to get him a pocket watch. When my grandfather turned 20 he was given the watch and it became a tradition. As per tradition, Elle was expecting to get the watch. I had even made an effort of hinting how Elle wanted a watch for the whole year prior. Among the presents Elle saw this small box and got excited thinking it was the watch. The watch came in this wooden casing with a velvet lining inside and it was about the same size as the box Elle saw. I made a deliberate choice to open that box last to make sure the night ended on a highlight. When it came time to opening the box, it was a watch but a digital one. It was a good watch to be honest, but it wasn't the watch. My dad was excited as he went on prattling about the features of the watch. It could count steps, connect to my phone via Bluetooth, control music, measure my heart rate, etc. While he talking, Elle burst into tears and left the table running. My dad follows and asks why Elle was sad and I said Elle wanted the watch, the one that belonged to my great-grandfather. He said he wanted to give it to my younger brother who is 12 since he is boy. If he gives it to me, it will leave the family since I'll get married to a man and join his family. This came as a blow since I've always been closer to my dad than my brother was and my brother isn't even interested in the watch like Elle have been my whole life. We got into an argument and it ended with him saying my immaturity over such a small matter is why he wouldn't have given the watch to me even if Elle was a boy. I left after he said that. That was 2 weeks ago, and we haven't spoken since. So am I the asshole? Edit. Information. It's always been the firstborn who got it. But the firstborns have always been men, since the tradition started. I'm the first female firstborn. I suppose Elle shouldn't have stormed out. I'm 20 now after all. I was super overwhelmed by my feelings. I'm prone to tears, always have been, but I should have calmed myself, especially since it was a public space. Not the asshole. Your father is passing you over for an important family heirloom because you are not a boy. In other words, sexism. I do not blame you for being upset. Not the asshole. Your dad gave you a nice smartwatch as a replacement for the watch he knew you wanted. While I can see how some people might think you are crying over an Apple Watch, face with rolling eyes you were upset about not being a part of your family's tradition and being looked over for being a woman. I'm sure for any other occasion you would have been thrilled with this gift. Not the asshole. It obvious isn't a small matter, or your father wouldn't have been so desperate to bribe you with this other watch. Your father knew that you wanted the watch, and knew that you would be disappointed. He is blaming you for your reaction to his own sexist behavior, instead of taking responsibility for that behavior. Not the asshole. Your father is a sexist asshole who thinks you're a object to be traded rather than a family member. It's up to you what you do with that information. Not the asshole. They changed the laws in the UK to allow female heirs to inherit the throne. Not sure why your family still adheres to this tradition since women no longer marry out of the family. Not the asshole. Your father should have told you about this sexist caveat years ago. Instead he led you on for over a decade about how you will receive the family watch. Your dad and his enablers suck. Not the asshole. Since he only considers you temporary family, why would you want his moldy old watch anyway? Give him back his digital watch too. It's a shame that you found out you're less important than some ability to carry on a bloodline or a name. Not the asshole. I hate this notion that women leave their families when they get married. It's such sexist bullshit. I mean, you don't even have to take anyone's name. The only reason I took my husband's surname is because it was just so much prettier than mine. But I was not taken from my family or anything. What nonsense. Excluding you from this tradition for being a woman is super rude and your father just shows clear favoritism.